Hello, everyone. I'm Leslie Rohde for Ask the Lawyers, and welcome to this episode of Ask the Lawyers. Today, we're talking to South Carolina attorney Tyler Bailey. Tyler started the Bailey Law Firm after honing his litigation skills at larger Columbia firms. Tyler was named one of the top 40 under 40 trial lawyers by National Trial Lawyers Monthly. Today, he's going to discuss with us the differences between workers' comp claims and personal injury lawsuits for people who are hurt on the job. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you for having me.
Let's just start with a general description. Help us understand the differences between a workers' comp claim and an injury claim for someone who's hurt on the job.
Sure. So in South Carolina, if you're an employee for employer, any injury claim that you have is subject to our workers' compensation laws. Our workers' compensation laws have certain benefits for employees, which include medical payments and future compensation for any permanent impairment or disability. Now, if you're not injured in a workers' compensation case, when you're not injured in the court scope of your employment, you just have a regular tort action, and that's a negligence action against somebody for either their intentional or negligent conduct or another tort law action.
Is there any difference, Tyler, if this happens to an independent contractor versus someone who's employed by someone else?
Yeah, so if you're an independent contractor, you're not subject to the laws of workers' compensation. That could be a plus and a minus in some situations. It could be a plus because you can actually sue the employer in civil court for either their negligence or intentional conduct. Now, if you are an employee, you are subject to only workers' compensation benefits, which, like I said earlier, is the compensation for your medical payments, any permanent impairment, or any disability that you may have.
So if you are denied in one of these claims, so you try and it gets flat out denied, is this the end of it for you?
No. So in a workers' compensation case, if your claim is denied, you can file for a hearing where you present your case to a hearing officer in South Carolina to establish as to why you should receive workers' compensation benefits. Generally, if you're injured in the course and scope of your employment and you are an employee of the employer, you should receive workers' compensation benefits. Now, if it's a regular civil tort claim and the insurance company, let's say, denied your case, your case isn't over either. From there, you can file a civil lawsuit where you could bring your case to a jury and establish that the damages or your injuries that you have are the actual fault of the other party.
I know, Tyler, some people may be wondering about undocumented workers. Should they be worried about contacting a lawyer, maybe for safety's sake, if they're hurt on the job?
Well, that's a good question. The good thing about South Carolina, our workers' compensation laws provide benefits for employees, whether they're lawfully employed or they're unlawfully employed. So that includes aliens and undocumented immigrants. Employers get a benefit for having employees. The employer is not supposed to hire, of course, people who are undocumented or aliens, but that is not the fault of the employee if they are hired and they're injured on the job. And that doesn't even matter if they use fake documentation or forge other IDs or things of that nature to receive employment. If they are injured on the job and they are an employee of the employer, they're entitled to workers' compensation benefits, and they should contact a lawyer they trust.
Okay. What about the finances here? If someone is hurt, he or she may be worried that they can't afford this kind of claim.
Yeah, so in workers' compensation cases, the employer is responsible for all medical expenses that are related to the injury. And also in a regular tort action, a regular personal injury case, the only reason you're injured is because the other party or person caused your injury. So they are ultimately responsible as well. In a regular personal injury action, it's important that you do contact a personal injury lawyer so they can talk to your medical providers and let them know at the end of the case they will be paid by the at-fault party rather than you. So they are okay in those situations where if they can't afford it, it's not their fault that they're hurt, and other people are going to pay for those.
That's good to know. That's good to know. What about time limits here? I know someone may be hurt and have to get a lot of medical attention before they're able maybe to file a claim. Is there a time limit on how long you can wait before you file one of these claims?
And that's another good question. So there is not a time limit on how long you have to wait before you can file the claim, but you have to file a workers' compensation case within 2 years of the date of injury, or if it's a death case, the heirs or the personal representative would not have to bring that case within 2 years of the death. In a personal injury action, you generally have 3 years, a 3-year statute of limitation in South Carolina, which means that you have to file a lawsuit within 3 years of the date of loss. In some situations, the 2-year statute of limitations, that's if the case is against a governmental entity, such as a police department, a town, or a municipality.
Tyler, I know you deal with these cases a lot and these claims. Give us a general idea of some of the most common types of claims you find in this area.
So in the workers' compensation area, hardworking people a lot of times they work with their hands and they're doing great work for their employer, and oftentimes they are injured on the job. And a lot of times they don't know, what to do next. So most of my work in the workers' compensation area is really helping blue collar workers who have been injured on the job receive the medical benefits that they need, and they're compensated for their impairment, any permanent impairment that they sustain as a result of their injury on the job. And now my personal injury practice is pretty diverse. So I represent individuals who have been injured by the negligence or intentional conduct of anybody in a variety of cases. These include car wrecks. They also include trucking wrecks. They include slip and falls, any premise liability cases, police brutality, false arrests. We have a pretty broad personal injury practice. And the best way to say it is, if anybody's been injured by the negligence of somebody else or the intentional conduct of somebody else, I could help that person generally in most situations.
It sounds like it. You have a very wide variety of experience in this, for sure. Last takeaways, Tyler, for people who may be watching this and who may be thinking about filing one of these claims. Any advice you have for them, or most important things that they need to remember before they reach out to someone like you?
Yeah, so the most important thing is, after you're injured, the last thing you want to be worried about is trying to handle the case yourself. And a lot of times you may not understand this, but the insurance companies and the employers oftentimes are looking out for their bottom line, which is sometimes in opposition of your best interest in receiving the medical treatment that you need and any further compensation for your damages. So the most important thing that somebody should do if they're injured in a personal injury case or a workers' compensation case is really trust a good personal injury lawyer, and call a good personal injury lawyer, call a workers' compensation lawyer that they know of, who can help them in the situation so they can focus on getting better and recovering from their injuries, and their lawyer can fight for them.
Good advice. Attorney Tyler Bailey, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you.
We want to remind everyone to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you will not miss another one of these episodes of Ask the Lawyer. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Leslie Rohde for AskTheLawyers.com, where you can find a lawyer that lawyers choose.